What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Here behind me we've got Perry's S13. We've got Perry in the back doing some work on his S13 and you're gonna find out exactly what we're doing to it. He's all in at once on this car. So from just being just a casual stocker S13, we've manual swapped this car and now he's gone ahead and purchased all suspension parts and all brake upgrade parts as well. Alright Perry, what's happening down here, man?
So starting from this side here, we got front tension arms for the front suspension there. Now that's the only arm I will be changing at the front, unfortunately, but in the future I'm sure that more will get changed. Alright, so here we got the stock rear calipers. Now what we're doing with these, as you can see there, we've overhauled them in one of the previous videos. So they're going to stay stock in the rear. The only thing that we're modifying, so to say, in the rear is we're doing the 5-stud conversion in the rear. So with that being said, we've got 5-stud discs, if you want part numbers there, if you want to do the same thing. These are DBA discs. We got some slotted discs, DBAs. Now, originally S13s are 4-stud. Now, for some reason, I was able to get, don't ask me how, I just asked the guy. You can actually get 5-stud discs for S13s. Now, I couldn't tell you how that works, but yeah, you're able to order them 5-stud as well. So they're stock size discs and we got stock calipers as well. Now we got DBA street pads as well as stock S13 rear pads. Just a little bit of a brake sort of upgrade for the rear with the slotted discs and the pads. Now over here we got R32 GDR front calipers. Now we're doing a big brake upgrade for the front end. These are off R32 GDR, as I said. Now, when doing that, say for example you go 300Z calipers or whatever, you would get them discs. So I got R32 GDR front discs. They're covered up now, but these are the same model slotted discs as the rear, but obviously for an R32 GDR. Now, the reason for that is because with the caliper, if I put the S13 discs at the front, they might be a bit thinner, meaning that the way the caliper is going to clamp on the brakes, it's going to need more sort of area to clamp onto the disc. So with putting the right disc on there that the brakes are meant for, it's obviously better for the calipers, more efficient. With that as well, we got some extreme pads, DBAs, part number there, obviously for an R32 GDR. Over here, we got, I think they call these rear traction arms. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. But we got some rear traction arms. We got rear toe arms as well. So we're going to be changing them as well, rear toe arms. We got rear camber arms for the rear end. Nice piece. Now up here, we got the ZSS 5-stud conversion. Now these are for the rear end, I've already used one, but comes with the whole hub assembly, including the bearing. So all you need to do is unbolt the 4 bolts from the back of the original one, and then all you got to do is replace them 4 again, and you got a 5-stud hub. That is the rear end, and then we got the front end ones here as well. Don't mind that. Front end ones here, obviously same thing. Same thing with these. Now these don't have the 4 bolts. These are just with that center nut that you take off. So same thing there. Beautiful.
Perry's actually already started doing the left-hand side, which is the passenger side.
We forgot to mention as well what rims we're putting on this car since we're doing the 5-stud conversion. Now, drum roll. I went with R33 GDR wheels. Now, I always love these rims. I think they suit the S13 quite well. Actually, we can test fit. Before I put the wheel on, you can see in here I've already done this corner. Obviously, we're still got to paint the caliper. I just got the brake lines clamped up there. But traction arms, so I think they're called camber arms. Toe arms, and also BC coilovers. Sorry, the box is not here right now, but BC coilovers as well we're putting out on the car as well. So yeah, everything in the rear end's pretty much getting changed except the lower control arms. But yeah, the R33 GDR rims, suit the car quite well. And as you can see here with the 5-star discs, it fits perfectly with the dust shield as well. Now, one thing with the front, I think we are going to have to trim the dust shield a little bit with the front, just because the GTR calipers are a bit bigger. But yeah, let's just test fit this on right now. And as you can see there, obviously it's in the air, but it looks awesome. I love that look on the car. Now with the camber arms too, since the guards are unrolled, that's why I went with camber arms as well. I want to camber this probably as much as I can, just so I can keep the guards unrolled, and yeah, it will look a bit cooler with the heaps of camber in it. Probably won't drive the best, and wear out tires, but that's all right. Better to look the part. But yeah, so you're seeing this side. If you come across this side, I've already stripped the hubs on this side, and I've just cracked all the suspension, so all this is loose. So yeah, this was how it looks stock. Obviously there's no discs and hub on this side, but this is how it looks stock, and then you can see the other side with all the new arms and coilovers. But yeah.
Beautiful. So let's get to ripping all that out, putting this new stuff in, and then we'll move to the front. Hopefully by the end of the day, all these boxes are empty and everything's on the car. Alright, and if you aren't familiar with Perry's S13 build, check it out on the channel. I'll leave the playlist up here or up here, one of these corners. And if you are familiar with his S13 and you're up to date with the build series, stay tuned for the rest of the video. It's going to be an awesome one. Let's get all these parts installed. Yo! Woo. Now that the old brake setup is out of the way, together with the 4-stud hub, Perry moves on to tackle the control arms. They're very easy and very simple to come out, followed by the complete suspension assembly, while I get the rear brake calipers brushed and cleaned up and prepped for painting.
Now, as bad as I feel doing this, all the bolts and nuts on this car have never been taken off before. You can see with this, the center axle nut there. Now that was just all from me. This looks brand new other than all that stuff from me, and my fingers are filthy. But everything is brand new. All these nuts, like nothing ever had ever been taken off in here before. They were so tight. That's probably the hardest part of doing doing all this right now, taking off these old bolts and nuts. But yeah, it is what it is, and we're gonna smash it out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the new arm and the old arm side by side, and I'm going to try and adjust the new arm to the same length as the old arm, just so the alignment isn't too far off. It's going to be off, but just so the alignment isn't too far off, so we can hopefully drive the car to get an alignment proper. But yeah, we're going to do that with both these arms. Now what I did with the camber arm, I've already just maxed out the camber, or adjusted a bit more camber onto it. But other than that, these two arms are going to try and get to the stock length, and yeah, put them on. When adjusting arms, toe arms and whatnot, you never want to adjust one side more than the other. So you would always, what I would usually do, crack both sides and wind them in all the way, like this one right here. I'll show you. Alright, so both these sides are loose. What I'll do is wind that one all the way in. So that's all the way in there. Wind this one all the way in. And then I'll start adjusting from the middle. So I'll hold that down, and then I'll start winding out, and you would notice that the same amount of thread will come out on each side. So you can see there, if I do it a bit more, you can see it's the same amount of thread on each end. That's what you want to keep a nice stable arm. If you adjust one side more than the other, it's not really good. I think it puts a bit too much pressure on either side that you extend or make shorter. So peace of mind, always make sure you adjust from the middle evenly from each side. So yeah.
Here's the complete side that Perry set up earlier, and here's how it was done. It's all very simple to bolt up, starting from the right side, one arm at a time. We made sure they were all put into place loosely before tightening anything down. Once all the arms were bolted into place, then we tightened them down all together at once. Next, the dust shield slides back on with the new 5-stud wheel hub, securing it into place, making sure the 4 bolt holes line up, and honestly that was probably the most trickiest bit out of the entire swap. Last piece of the puzzle is the BC coilover.
And then we can start putting brakes back on.
Let's go. Yep, you're on.
leave them loose.
A few moments later.
Alright guys, it's actually been a week after we took the last clip. We got Perry over here. I'm just gonna get him to do some explaining as to why the S13 isn't at his place now. Perry,
Well.
he couldn't hack it.
I couldn't. I needed to do something to the car. I needed to make it my own.
He had to finish the car off without us there, but that's alright. So the rear is done, everything's installed in the rear for the 5-stud conversion. All the arms are installed. I'll jump underneath there, we'll jack it up and I'll just show you guys everything that's done around there. And in the front, he's actually put the R32 GTR brakes.
Now,
They look sick.
I don't know if you can tell, but they're kind of a different colour. So, yeah, we had a bit of a contemplation, if that's a word. I don't even know if that's a word. I painted them yellow, and I'm like, man, what am I doing? The car's like a really dark green, so painting them yellow, it's gonna look like yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I can't say what it looked like.
Yeah, I reckon black's safe.
I did them black. Now they're safe colour. Obviously, they don't stand out too much, but that's fine. I did polish the Nissan logo just to, you know, match the rims a little bit as well. We've got the R33 GTR rims as well.
They look awesome on the car, man.
Yeah, what we're going to do now, I'm just going to re-bleed the brakes, just because they're still a little tad like spongy and they don't sit properly, but I did it by myself, so I needed someone to jump in the car, you know, press the brakes for me while I bleed them. But yeah, I do have the front tension arms, I think they're called. So I think when I take it for a wiggle moment, we'll see what they think if I should install them or not, but yeah.
But the whole 5-stud conversion's done front and rear. As you can see, GTR 33 wheels on there makes the car look sick and awesome. He's adjusted the camber tops all the way as far as they go. So if you come from back here, you can see that the car is sitting sick.
It's quite easy to do actually. You just got to jack the car up. Now it's got off-centered holes there because I've already adjusted it all the way, you can't see. Now I unscrewed these inner ones, pull the actual bolt out, and there's another thread pitch closer in. So you loosen all four, obviously move those bolts to the inner thread pitch, jack the car up, and you gotta, well, it'll be a bit easier with the wheel off, you gotta push the shock sort of inways and you will see this start to move. But I've done it max all the way just because I wasn't sure how close I'm going to be and whatnot. Man, right now I could probably lower the car if I wanted to, but I kept the inner guard liner. It still looks nice and sleek inside. And yeah, I wanted to keep that inner guard liner as best as I can. So yeah, that's why I'm not going to drop it lower. And yeah.
No, but there's heaps of room in there, eh?
Heaps of room in here, and it makes it a bit more drivable too, which is what I wanted, because I drive my cars all the time. I drive my cars everywhere. So having them to be drivable is a must for me. So yeah. Alright, so we've got here the R32 GTR calipers. Now, I'm sure we've already spoken about it, but what we did, just replace the brake line to the R32 GTR caliper adapter. Now you do need this if you do want to upgrade to R32 GTR calipers. The way the brake line goes onto the original S13 calipers is with a banjo bolt. This one's directly in the caliper, if you can see. Put the camera through there. If I turn the wheel, you can see it better. Just look. But you can see there, it bolts straight into the caliper, like with the thread. Now the original S13 ones don't, so that's the only thing you do need to get if you do want to replace the calipers. But other than that, bolts straight on. R32 GTR calipers line up with the stock S13 bracketing, so you don't need to get no bracketing or nothing. I did put a little spacer. Now it wasn't rubbing on, the reason I did it was because of the shock, right? Now it wasn't hitting the shock, but it was very like millimeters close. So I did put a little spacer just for that peace of mind and just for that safety. But yeah, I don't think you need to with the R32 GDR brakes, the R33 GDR wheels, but just to be safe I did.
Awesome, so now we're going to bleed them. First we'll start from the one closest to the reservoir. Me and Perry were actually saying he does it from the
How
one...
do you guys do it? I do it from furthest away from the master cylinder. Andrew does it from closest. Let's just see what the comments say about that, because we've been in shambles about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Alright, so we're going to start from this one, which is closest this time, and then we'll take it for a drive, see how we go. Let's do it.
I don't know if we've shown the rear end, but we'll show it again. Now we've kept the stock calipers in the rear end because if I had the GDR rear calipers as well, but to put them on, because the GDRs run shoes for the handbrake, I didn't want to do all that because then I had the new handbrake cables, new everything. So I kept the rear calipers. I upgraded to the GK Tech brake lines and obviously BC coilovers. 5-studded the rear end as well with some slotted discs. Camber arms here, toe arms there, and traction arms here as well. So pretty much everything in the rear end arms wise is done other than the control arms. So yeah, gonna bleed these rear brakes and see how it goes. Alright guys, so Andrew's going to take it out for the first test drive. I'm trusting him. Let's see if he knows how to put it in reverse.
I've been trusted a lot this week.
No, I don't really know how to hold this camera, so mind me. How do the brakes feel?
Don't worry about the brakes, did you hear that dose?
Andrew loves it, eh? Let's get Andrew into a Silvia. I reckon an S15 for you.
Brakes on that.
Yeah, oh beautiful. Very good.
Did your head come through the windshield?
Yeah. I think the R32 GDR calipers are a good, just a stock sort of placement upgrade.
It sounds good, bro.
You love it, eh?
You didn't even do anything to it, bro.
No.
Still standard intercooler.
Standard intercooler, just a pod filter and a cheeky blow-off valve blocker.
Hey,
Standard Silvia things. Was it rubbing or scrubbing or anything?
No rubbing. I went around the roundabout all the way around. No rubbing at all. So the R33 GDR wheels, they're 9-inch wide at the front, believe it or not.
Front and rear are the same, so they're not staggered or anything. But yeah.
I went full lock, no scrubbing, which is good.
Yep.
Yeah, the car handles
Beautiful.
like mad, eh?
Very good.
Yeah.
They're a 17 by 9-inch rim. Now it does have 215s on it right now. I want to put, I think, 225s maybe at least, just because they're poking quite a bit out of the tyre, the rim.
Yeah.
So I think it will suit. But yeah.
You're gonna slam this thing. That will look good the way it is. Just slam.
I like it how it is right now, just because it's drivable and I can take it anywhere. All right, it is quite low still, but
Perry's more of a drive his car.
I drive my cars everywhere.
Like,
so if I want to take my car on an hour drive, 2-hour drive, I want it to be able to do that, if that makes sense. So yeah. So we're gonna put this up against the RX-7?
I think we're gonna have to race them, eh?
What do you reckon? I reckon it'll be a close race.
They're the same U model. They're sort of the same power, I think.
Driving this and driving the RX-7, what do you think?
1.3 litre, 1.3
Alright, here we go. You got an extra turbo.
Yeah, but you have extra
Displacement.
0.7 litre.
That's alright, an extra turbo makes up for it.
No man, the S13 is driving awesome now.
Beautiful.
Like yeah, it feels very tight on the road. The manual swap, of course, the manual swap. If you haven't watched the manual swap video, there's a link to that playlist right there. Yeah, awesome car to drive. 5-stud conversion complete, GDR brakes complete,
Wheels, suspension,
wheels,
the
everything
whole lot.
done.
I
All in
think-
one hit.
I reckon the next thing we do is, how about a nice head unit? What do you think? Why don't we get the stereo
I think that's a good
looking
idea.
down pack? I do have some seats and a whole different interior for this car. Now,
Man, I'm two minds about those though.
yeah,
Man, look at-
Andrew's a bit skeptical.
Have you
Do we
seen-
tell him what we're gonna do?
Have you seen this interior first?
First of all,
Guys.
this interior is pretty mint.
It's like-
if I do say so myself, you know.
It's like mint 90s
The car's
interior.
pretty taken care of. It does have a few like scratches and scuffs here and there, but they can get repainted. But yeah, the interior is in pretty good nick. Roof liner, everything's in
like.
almost immaculate nick.
Let's get the interior done first, and then we'll think about that in the next video.
Done.
Anyways, guys.
Thank you guys.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a thumbs up. It helps us out a ton. Leave a comment down below what you liked most in the video and what else you want us to do to the S13 as well.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys. Catch you in the next one.
Later.
Later.